Dear friends of the Tom Photo channel, great to see you here. Let's talk about selling photos on Shutterstock today. Avid amateur photographers will sooner or later ask themselves why they photograph. What's the reason? Most will say that they are recording memories, enjoying the outdoors, searching for the unusual, finding beauty. This is all great, but one day you may start wondering if there's a way to earn a little bit of money, preferably without leaving your home. And so you find Shutterstock, a stock photography site where you can become a contributor. Is it worth the trouble though? I made an account about 8 months ago, and I can now share my experience. The answer is not overly optimistic. You have to sell more than 100 photos before you start earning more than 15% or 10 cents for each sale. And remember that this is before your taxes. Okay, there are other licensing options that let you earn more in rare cases, but climbing out of the 10-cent misery hole is unrealistic for many contributors. But all hope was lost when Shutterstock announced that the sales counters would reset for everyone on January 1st each year. So you have to start climbing the ladder over and over again. This unexpected slap in the face from Shutterstock left most contributors in disbelief and offended. Many are closing their accounts. This seems like a dangerous move for a company that's selling something that is not even owned by them. Shutterstock itself is not commenting much. I think they explain it by needing to respond better to market requirements and also say something about better opportunities for all or something along those lines. It was some kind of wordplay that is typically given by the PR people when they try to hide or downplay something. Let me give you an idea of where I am with my 8 months of membership and 733 uploaded photos. I have made 29 sales and earned $4.82. Why so much? Because a couple of sales were based on more expensive licenses that one is not very likely to get. I think I actually get my first payment when I accumulate at least $35. This day will come in 4 to 5 years, but I already have plans for my $35. I think I will get a bit over 1/3 of a tank of gas for my car for my Shutterstock payment, provided that the internal combustion engine cars are still legal in the EU at that time. It is not just the photos that you're selling cheaply. Uploading and managing the photos and attaching descriptions and keywords to them is a lot of work. I regret I put in all that work. My longer term plan is to terminate my account, but I might continue for a bit more as an experiment so that I could report my experience to you. Shutterstock has competition and many people are looking left and right to see other options. I think I might try Alamy. Maybe. It would be really great to hear what has worked for you and what you think about these other options. Please drop me a line down below. First thing to clear is that Shutterstock accepts and sells only stock photos. These are not just any photos. These are photos that Shutterstock licenses for specific uses. The photos need to be absolutely incognito. They must not contain any trademarks, logos, visible text, or anything recognizable that can be linked to business interests. They are so strict about it that if someone is wearing Nike socks in the far background of the photo, they will reject your photo. If you photograph a city street, you can be almost certain that the photo is rejected because you have store logos or car logos, etc. Or you may have statues or famous churches or other recognizable objects that are not your own property. It is so strict that it will first make you want to give up entirely. I initially loaded a long list of city photos and one got accepted, a one showing a random city wall. If there is a human face anywhere, you get rejected. You need a written approval for every model in the photo. Considering how little money you will make with every photo, this is hugely out of balance task. And then there is the technical filters that your photos will need to pass. Even when you are technically very careful, at first most of your photos will get rejected, especially the ones where you used artistic ideas to play with light or focus in an unusual way. I understand the strict filters because Shutterstock needs to protect its customers, but at least in my case, it will lead to uploading my boring photos rather than the unique ones. A friend told me that he usually gets about 90% of his better photos rejected for technical reasons. I'm also seeing a discouraging rate, maybe around 50%. The problem that Shutterstock cites: grain in the photos, uneven lighting, main subject out of focus, etc. I wonder how the artificial intelligence knows what my main subject was in the photo. Was it the deer on the left or the bear on the right? Let's assume that you got your photos uploaded. Now you need to write descriptions and tags for each photo. This takes time, but at least you can select several photos and fill out their fields simultaneously. Also, Shutterstock uses AI to analyze your photos, and it will offer a list of tags you can choose from to save you time, so that's nice. You can add geographical information, and I really recommend you do that because buyers usually care about the location. The photos you upload can take up to 5 days to review, especially at the beginning, before they are accepted. When you have photos, you will have a gallery. You can increase your chances of selling these photos when you combine them into sub-galleries by the topic. One way to increase sale is to upload several photos of the same subject because buyers may be interested in series, and this also draws more attention. This is a fine line, however, because if two photos are too similar, one gets rejected from Shutterstock. To increase visibility, you need to fill out all parts of the Shutterstock system. Fill out your social media fields, write a description of yourself, and most importantly, upload regularly to maintain your rank. When you have photos uploaded, you are waiting for sales to happen. First, nothing happens for a long time. This is because you're new and don't yet have enough status for your photos to appear early in the searches. You probably have too few photos. After 8 months, I now have 733 photos posted. This is not much at all. My first sale happened many weeks after first upload, and not until I had a few hundred of photos posted. It all takes time. But you say maybe the problem is me, and maybe you're right, but maybe not. I watched the Mark Denny video where he said his income from stock photo sales effort was pretty much zero. Arguably, there are people who make real money in Shutterstock, but they have tens of thousands of photos uploaded, and they photograph specifically with the eye of a stock photographer. They think about what will sell, they avoid all logos, they photograph cities and food and interiors, and they check with the Shutterstock website to read about what is currently in demand and what Shutterstock mostly wants at the current time. Their photos are frequently used by designers who search for a specific part of the photo that they are missing. So these successful photographers are doing everything right. I'm doing many things wrong. My photos are mostly of landscapes and beauty of nature, and this doesn't sell. My streets show street signs, and this doesn't work. My locations are not huge tourist magnets, but rather some small places that work for me, but not for the global audience. So why am I still on Shutterstock? Because it will give me some feedback about my photos. I'm curious about what is being downloaded. The feedback has been somewhat confusing, however. Some of the photos I've sold are showing here, and I would have never guessed that these would ever sell. Often they have been portraying certain geographical locations, but some of the weirdest photos I've sold 3 times. For a couple of photos, I've gotten $1.06. I guess these were purchased with a more expensive license, perhaps for a book. Based on this, I'd say that my luck could turn if I photographed more city streets without any people. However, this is not what I do. I'm primarily a landscape photographer, the boring type. Still, I'm continuing with Shutterstock for a bit more to run it as an experiment and out of inertia, because I spent so much time on it already. Now, some of the recommendations I'd like to give you. Number 1 is to upload more and don't be stressed out about how good the photo is, because the answer will surprise you anyway. Just upload all you're willing to give away for a few cents and let Shutterstock choose. This will save you time. Don't worry that your photos are not good or exciting. Shutterstock photos are not supposed to be that. The buyer may want a specific part of your photo or modify it further. Don't crop your photos too close because the less you crop, the more freedom the buyer will have to crop. Don't worry about the composition too much. When photographing, use tripod, switch off image stabilization, and prefer the lowest ISO you can. Focus in the middle of the largest object and try to have that object in the middle of the photo. The AI of Shutterstock will love that. Write detailed descriptions for each photo, if you can afford the time, that is. And importantly, mark the geographic location. People's photos can sell very well, I hear, but then you need the paperwork. Most importantly, use an eye of a stock photographer if you want to take part in this business. Or if you are like me, just do whatever you want with your camera and just see what happens. The chances that Shutterstock will make you rich are slim as a hair. And don't post your best photos. Don't waste them. Keep them for better causes. Best of luck to you trying to earn some money from selling photos. And thanks for watching. If you consider subscribing to my channel or leaving a like, I'll be very happy. Enjoy your photography the way you like it the most. Don't let them tell you how to do it. See you soon. Goodbye.